Welcome to Flix Anonymous on CannabisLifeNetwork.com. We are nationwide. Fun movie. Have you thought of what you were going to give this one?
3.
I'm going to go 2.5.
You just couldn't do the 3. You had me going. I was like, this sounds really cool. We saw the trailer, looks awesome, and then all of a sudden you're like,
we're going to bring our good friend and our TV man, Casey White, onto the program to talk about shows that people are talking about right now, or maybe that people should be talking about. And one of those shows is a brand new Netflix show that's been streaming for a couple of weeks now called The Get Down. Take a look at it right here.
Shaolin Fantastic. Master the Shaolin style, and you too can reach Olympian heights. There are none who can match him.
Alrighty, so now we get to do something awesome and bring in my good friend and our TV guy. This is the second episode on. This is Casey White, our TV man.
Hey, good to be back.
And that's Baz Luhrmann's The Get Down. And I'm going to admit it right off the top of the head, I'm not a huge Baz Luhrmann fan. Like, I like Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
yeah. Okay.
Besides that, I'm not really big on the guy quite a bit.
Fair.
But, I mean, this looks really interesting. Shemiak Moore from Dope is one of the leads in this one. Good music. The most expensive Netflix show to date
It's
right now?
gotta be, man.
Yeah.
It's like, the production value on this thing is insane. It's also the first time, I didn't even recognize him at first, but it's the first time I've enjoyed Jaden Smith.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Jaden Smith's in there, and you don't catch it until like halfway through the series that you're like, why does he look familiar?
Yeah, because I can't stand that kid. I'm sorry.
I'm not a fan either, but he's actually really good in this show.
Okay, good.
The main thing I've been saying about this show that I really enjoy is that it kind of feels like, did you ever watch The Last Dragon?
Yes.
Old school, like, blaxploitation kung fu flick?
Yeah.
That merged with Baz Luhrmann telling the story of the rise of the hip hop in the 1970s. It's phenomenal.
Wow.
Like with most Netflix series, I kind of sat down and watched it all in one go.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's something that I've showed to other friends, and especially like friends of mine that are DJs and like old school hip hop.
Yeah.
You start going through there, and like the main guy's mentor is Grandmaster Flash. So Grandmaster Flash is a character in the show
that's awesome.
teaching them how to be a DJ.
Right.
Which is the Get Down is like the break on the beat, right? So
Yeah.
phenomenal show, amazing soundtrack, great story. Has a little bit of Romeo and Juliet in there as well, with the female and male characters being the kids. And it also cuts in between, at the beginning of each show, being in the current timeline with this kid who grows up to be a successful rapper, basically narrating the story of him growing up.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Is my question, and of course for the viewers, is this a growing pains type show? Like, are you gonna be immediately hooked, or is it going to? You need to give it more than one episode?
I would say it will immediately grab you. Like I think some of it might fly over people's heads, but the way that Baz Luhrmann sets the stage with this, and like I say, having him in the current era, like our 2000 era, come in and be performing a live stage show, like a giant sold out venue as a rap artist, spitting about like the 1970s and what it was like growing up, and then transitioning to the 70s and the rise of the hip hop, it grabbed me right away, and that's why it was something that I just sat through and like watched in a day and a half flat.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think for a lot of other people it's going to be the same thing. Even friends of mine that aren't big TV people, I've pitched it to them and they'll sit and watch at least like 4 episodes. And that's saying something, because the first episode is an hour and a half long.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it starts with like a mini movie, and each episode is at least 50 minutes after that.
Wow, okay.
So
and it's
it's 6 episodes.
6 episodes, okay.
So it's just shy of 7 hours basically.
Right.
But phenomenal. And it's part 1 of 2.
Oh shit. Okay, so there's going to be another half coming.
Yeah, next year.
Nice. Have you already jumped in on this one?
I
yet?
haven't yet. It's in the queue.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch
Yeah,
it.
it's
I
sitting in
believe
mine,
that's
too.
like there's a Canadian element to this as well, right? Was there not like parts of it were filmed?
Yeah,
in
I think so.
Vancouver?
Actually, I think one of our friends is actually on some of the post production work. Our good
Yeah, so
friend.
there's a Vancouver connection to this show.
Nice.
as well.
Even better. So we can promote Canadian as well.
There we go.
I
That's
love
what
it.
we're all about. Yeah.
Put that Canadian stamp on it.
Exactly.
There you go.
Perfect.
So the next thing you brought us, they wouldn't let us take a clip for it, which I think is completely ironic.
Wow.
Because this show is called Suits. It's
Right.
now in its 6th season.
6th season. Yeah.
All the 5 back seasons are on Netflix.
Right.
And this stars Gabriel Mott and Patrick J. Adams, and for Firefly fans, it's got Gina Torres in this one too.
Yes.
And I've seen the first season. I really enjoyed this show.
So it's a legal show, and for legal reasons, we can't play the clip.
Yeah, yeah.
Go figure.
I was told that you guys were just going to reenact a clip, though. Is that happening still? Or
Objection. Overrule.
you guys fight over who's going to be Harvey and who's going to be Mike?
I'm
I'm
Harvey.
not dressed. It's
yeah,
a show about
I'm
suits,
Harvey.
and I'm wearing a
Perfect.
bunny hug. If you're from Saskatchewan, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, shit.
They call it bunny hugs there.
Bunny hugs. Hey, now we're getting into more mumbo jumbo that I don't know.
Oh, okay.
This is the foreign edition, so you know,
Yeah,
a
yes,
little
exactly.
local lingo.
This isn't French this time, though. We're
Saskatchewan
not talking.
lingo.
We're not talking about French romantic films or French
Unfortunately, I
military.
don't have any French TV series. For
Oh
you
yeah,
either.
now you're disappointing me and our
I didn't know
limited
the theme
audience.
was like.
It was
foreign
a tough
films.
one today. We had a couple okay films, and then a lot of the rest was like foreign French films. I'm like, oh God, let's get through these. Let's get through them.
But just to give a general idea, what is Suits all about?
Yeah.
So Suits initially starts out with a story about a kid who basically is ridiculously smart, has a photogenic memory, could easily have passed through any school in the country, but really undermotivated class type, ends up doing a drug deal for one of his friends, gets busted, or is about to be busted, and slips into a job interview to hide. The job interview is for one of the biggest law firms in New York, and the guy ends up hiring him. So he starts working as a lawyer without having a law degree, and it kind of kicks off from there. And it starts out for the first season basically being a very typical kind of legal courtroom drama comedy mix, but having that undercurrent the whole time of him not actually having a legal degree and a couple of close calls. And then season after season, it just keeps ramping up and ramping up and ramping up into the point where in season 6 now, we're dealing with the aftermath of everybody having found out that he'd never had a law degree. So the entire company is being called into question. Every case he's ever being tried is being opened for retrial. It's just crazy how far it's come from season 1 to season 6. Like, it was fairly straightforward, but you kind of fall in love with it because of the characters. And the really cool thing I was talking just before the show about was like, it transitions too. Season 1 is kind of almost like a buddy cop movie feel, with Mike and Harvey being the main characters. Season 6 now has transitioned almost completely to being almost all about the female characters. His secretary Donna, Mike's now fiance Rachel, who is a legal aide at the company, and Gina Torres' character Jessica, who runs the company.
Yeah.
So it's about them more now, and Mike and Harvey are kind of more background players, which is really interesting because I think they have some of the best female characters on television right now, for my money.
And I mean, this show airs on the USA Network,
Yeah.
and I believe it's on Showcase or Bravo out here.
I believe it's Showcase, yeah.
But this show, got a big following behind it very quickly, and just that has to be due to the writing. And
Absolutely.
And Harvey Specter himself, and of course Patrick J. Adams, who's kind of become an understated star himself.
Absolutely, man.
I mean,
that's the thing. Gabriel Mack just knocks us out of the park. We were talking beforehand how it completely negates the spirit at this point.
He was the spirit.
Oh,
Frank
my
Miller's
God.
the spirit.
But that's the thing. After 6 seasons, I forgot about the spirit until you brought it up again and was like, that's right. He was the spirit.
I am mad at him.
Never mind. But yeah,
6
everybody in that show
seasons.
is amazing.
Yeah, 6 seasons for a USA Network show. That's
Yeah,
pretty
my
big.
wife likes it
Pretty
a lot.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got into it.
Nice. All right, so back to now to FXX, I guess.
FFX?
FFX. Well, there's two channels. There's FX, and now
And
there's
FXX,
FXX, and I
yes.
believe this show is now on that. Comes from a director that I really who helped produce and set up the first few episodes of the first season. His name's Jordan Vogt Roberts, who's now doing the Skull Island, the Kong Skull Island is his movie. But he just set up this little comedy that got very, very good reviews right away. This show is called Youre the Worst. Check out a clip right here.
You shut the hell up.
Ginger!
In the early days, Paul and I used to have actual fun. Then pretty soon it was laptops and bed, lights out at 10. And the next thing you knew, I was calling him the hubs and he could only finish in my hand.
What?
There comes a day when every relationship turns gross, old, and boring. Like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Gardner. Don't puss out this early. Keep it awesome for as long as you can. I know. Do butt stuff tonight.
But I don't want to do butt stuff tonight. Ow!
You go home tonight and you dress up real slutty and you do butt stuff with your boyfriend.
Oh my God!
Yes,
Oh,
right?
I'm so sold.
Right?
Is that what this show's writing's like? Is just like
butt stuff.
really quick banter like that.
Super quick banter, really smart. So the entire premise of the show, basically, it starts out as they call it an anti-romantic comedy because the two main characters that end up dating are just the best example of the worst human beings alive. They're just entirely self-centric. They've serial daters in the past, like short-term relationships, one-night stands only. They are the secondary characters in every other romantic film that are just the douchebaggy characters, right?
Right.
And they get together, and it's their first attempt, basically, at a long-term relationship. So the whole of the first season is just them constantly fighting and breaking up and, like, dealing with that kind of stuff of her being in an area of a relationship she's never been in before, where it's lasted more than a week,
weeks.
right?
Yeah,
You know? So really, really great dialogue. The characters are amazing. And the reason that I fell in love with it personally was the writing initially in the first season. And now in the second season, we're coming into the third right now. And I didn't think it was going to get a third season because the second season takes a turn and starts dealing with the main character, Gretchen, dealing with depression. And it is the best on-screen interpretation for depression I've seen on television ever.
Wow.
They nail it. And she goes through the whole thing through season 2, and it's her and her boyfriend dealing with this. And she doesn't outright say it, so he has to kind of piece it together as they go, and they break up halfway through the season and get back together, of course.
Right.
But amazing writing, amazing characters, and like I say, it deals with some really big stuff in the second season that doesn't necessarily have a happy ending, which is why I didn't think it would get a third season.
Yeah, it's still a funny show.
Yeah, no, it's really funny,
Funny
but
show
now
with
it's
some
really
heart.
dark. Yeah.
A little more darkness.
Yeah, dark, real. Like, I really appreciate what they're doing with it. So I'm really, really happy that it's got a third season. So that's why I wanted to bring it as, like, this is on my list, my personal pick for, like, if you're going to watch one thing, go watch Youre the Worst.
Youre
just
the
so we
Worst.
can support that.
Is it streaming? Is it on like Netflix? Or anything
No,
yet?
I need this to get on Netflix too. So personal favor from Netflix, put that on as well because I need that show to get out there.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm totally like that clip sold me. That was really funny,
Right?
Especially the slap.
So where can you watch it then in Canada? Like, You're the Worst.
Well, it's on the FX.
FX Canada.
Yeah, so
okay,
it's on
okay.
the Canadian version of that
Okay,
as well.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. So this next one is a Netflix original. It's now entering its third season. And it's one that a lot of people have been talking about. I still have not seen a single episode. It's an animated show.
That's why we bring you in.
It's
There
exactly
you go.
it.
That's so I shake my head at you when
Yeah,
you say I
right.
haven't
That's
seen
exactly it. It's an animated show. It has Will Arnett in it. I should already be on board with it. It's Bojack Horseman. Take a look.
Well, I'm sorry that things have been so hard for you, but that doesn't give you the right to be shitty to me. I can't be around someone who's just fueled by bitterness and negativity.
Well then, what are you doing here?
What happened, Bojack?
Same thing that always happens. You didn't know me. Then you fell in love with me. And now you know me.
You know, it's funny. When you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags.
That is so poignant.
Right?
Holy shit. I like that the clip I grabbed was like this really like sad
serious
moment. This serious
that's the
moment.
beauty of it.
Is there a lot of moments like
There's
that?
There's a lot of that.
Wow.
Especially in season 2 and then season 3. So as I understand it, the way that the Emmy nominations work is you submit a singular episode. I've already picked out the episode in season 3 that they should win for.
Really?
There's an episode, I think, like 3 or 4 episodes in, that has no dialogue. And it is amazing.
And this is Bojack Horseman.
This is Bojack Horseman.
And you're thinking it should be up for an Emmy?
100%.
Wow.
It's one of the best episodes of television this season.
What's the general premise of the show?
So the general premise is, obviously, it's an animated series that deals with, like, animal people, but the premise is very realistic, as weird as it is to say, with all these animal people and stuff. It's an out-of-work actor, basically trying to start a resurgence at the beginning of the series, but really severely damaged personality, really dark, dealing with all his baggage that he's accrued over this sitcom that he got early on in his career, and nothing since, basically, right?
And he's always remembered or known for that sitcom.
Exactly.
Oh,
so he's still got a lot of money and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but he's trying to get back into acting, become an actual actor, start up doing films and stuff. But super, super damaged, alcoholic, does a ton of drugs. So it's a lot of him dealing with his personal issues throughout the seasons. So season 1 starts out super dark with him just kind of dealing with, you know, his own depression, alcoholism, and everything. And it's still a comedy somewhere in there.
crazy.
Like I'm talking about all the dark. aspects of it.
I know, right?
But it's just a really dark comedy that deals with some really deep stuff. And by the time you get to the end of the first season, it leaves you on a downer note. It's kind of like the last season there of Rick and Morty, where it just like ends on a bad moment, and it's like, deal with it. And then season 2 kicks off, and it somehow goes down from there. So season 3 just started up, and it's kind of starting to show that potentially there is some room for improvement in Bojack to grow as a person, but still winds back, basically, because he apparently will never change. But like I say, like, there's an episode in there that is, I think, deserves to win an Emmy.
I'm seeing a trend here now with your shows that you're picking.
Dark
is
humor?
Dark humor.
Yeah.
I do like dark humor.
Yeah.
No, yeah. That's the thing, is I really like humor as a medium to tell important issues. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's become one of those big things, is a lot of, especially young kids and like millennials now, grabbing their news from like The Daily Show rather than Fox News.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing we're dealing with now with humorous piece. I don't think there's any other show out there that's going to deal with an entire season battling depression or alcoholism unless it has a comedic edge to it.
Yeah.
So that's why these are kind of like super important shows that people should get into. And like I say, the writing is so strong, the characters are so well written and well acted by the people playing them that you're going to fall in love with it and have laughs along the way too.
And it's one of 3 Will Arnett Netflix shows.
Right?
Because you got Arrested Development and you got Flaked as well. So.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, this last one, I'm not finished it yet, but I am currently watching the series.
Nice.
So we can finally all talk about this one. Trevor brought it a while back as one of his Netflix pieces, but we just got to talk about it again because it's such a massive phenomenon and very pivotal, especially today of all days. When we're recording this is Stranger Things. Take a look.
That's better.
Ah, Millie Bobby Brown.
She's really, really good.
You don't need it.
All the kids are so phenomenal in this show.
Still pretty.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
Yeah.
generally don't like child actors.
Pretty.
All of these
Really
are good.
pretty.
This Finn Whittard, whatever his name is. Oh my God, this kid's really good. The moment at the end of episode 3 that I just watched, where
Yes.
they make that discovery, I was like,
I'm happy you're home.
can't say that. You can't say that to her.
Guys, it's Lucas. I think he's in trouble.
God,
Yes.
yeah.
I love that show.
Oh
It's
God, this
so
show
good.
is so good. So it's everything every nostalgia piece you want.
It's Stephen King, it's Steven Spielberg, it's John Carpenter, it's 80s personified.
There's one scene where what's Finn's what's the main character's name again? The one that has 11 in his house.
Yeah. I can't think of his name right now.
Where his mom and little sister are at Winona Ryder's house, and the lights start blinking off in her house, and the kid goes to follow it. And I'm pointing at the kid's jumper. I go, "That's Gertie's jumper from E.T. She's wearing the exact same outfit." And there's just like little nods that us film fans just keep picking at and pulling that thread, and it never lets up. And that's what's the greatest thing about this.
That's the thing. It's like I grew up on 80s films, and this is just a love letter to the 80s era, man. Like
the Duffy Brothers, right?
Yeah, the Duffy Brothers, yeah.
Insane. Like
Duffer Brothers.
Duffer Brothers, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it totally just starts out as kind of like a meld of the Goonies meets E.T., and then branches out into everything else we're talking about. There's
a little Stephen King in there.
Stephen King. You can make parallels to like Alien and stuff like that later in the series. Just all the way throughout, man. It's just a love letter to the 80s. It's so well done. The costuming, the cinematography, the music, everything about this is just killer.
The title credits, how it kind of forms the title credits, and then it goes past that, and then it has the title, and then you zoom through the title. I'm like, oh my god, this is the 80s. This is the 80s. Like 100%. It's a Stephen King novel come to life. Like it's incredible. Why I said it's pivotal right now is the day that we're recording this on, they announced season 2.
Which it wasn't a big secret.
No, but
it was going to happen. Everybody has been losing their shit about this series.
Yeah,
I think Netflix is going to probably dump more money into it as well. I mean, it's not going to. I hope they don't get away too much from what made the first season special. But apparently they'll be putting a little bit more money into it. And season 2 is supposed to be is considered a sequel. So I don't know what they mean by that.
Yeah.
I don't know what do you think they mean by that when they say it's
I
a
have
sequel?
a very good idea what they're talking about. But because you haven't seen it, I'm not going to.
And for the audience that hasn't,
theories. But there's definitely a few threads that they leave open at that end of the series that I can tie together into a second season.
Yeah.
So I think I know exactly where they're going for season 2, and I'm really excited for it.
And as much as we've talked about the kids, and we could talk about Winona Ryder and that, can we talk, before we end this, can we talk a second about David Harbour, who plays the Chief?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So fucking phenomenal.
He makes
so
the
fucking
show.
good.
He's my favorite character in this entire show.
I mean, when his first line when he gets into the office in episode 1, and he's like, mornings are for thoughts and contemplation.
Yeah.
That's it. And she's like, no, but she's like, all right. Thoughts and contemplation. Like, he started off his morning by drinking like an old beer from the night before. You know what I mean? He's the perfect character to jump in on, like, really.
Yeah.
And this show came out of nowhere and is now just a cult phenomenon.
So if you're one of the very few people who haven't watched it yet, give it a try. Stranger Things.
Absolutely. I don't think we need to promote the show. I think everybody's aware. But you would also take away my TV guy card if I don't talk about Stranger Things.
There we go. I think it was almost a prerequisite. We bombarded you with it. You're like, well, I don't really have a fifth one right now, so fine. Why not? Casey White, thank you so much for joining us to talk TV. He's the Flix Anonymous TV guy, and if you want to talk TV, you can hit him up on the Twitter sphere.
You can at the Night Ninja.
There you go. So
and your site? So
my site is shogungamer.com or hypesicle.com for movies and TV.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have Casey back again.